My name is Emily Aaron. Welcome to Around Campus. Joining us today is Dr. Mark Huntress, who is also a professor here at Patrick Henry of both chemistry and physics. Now, the word on the street is that you now have a new club that you're involved in, available to students on campus. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
That's true. It's the Problem Solving and Critical Thinking Club. So we meet once a month, the first Tuesday of each month, and I like to think of it as just hanging out and playing games and having some food, but it's hopefully at the end of the day anyone who comes will improve their mental dexterity and their problem-solving skills.
So about how many people are involved in it as of right now?
Let's see, the number's constantly going up. We've had 3 meetings and we have a higher turnout at each meeting. I think we've had one more student come out to each of our meetings. So there's 25 or 30 members who are on my email list, but you know, people are busy, so not everybody can come out at any given meeting. So I think we've had about 8 or 9 at our last meeting.
Well, that's great.
Yeah,
so could you tell me a little bit about, based on the activities that you participate in, what is an average meeting like?
Let's see. At the beginning, I like to give an example of a great problem that was solved in history. So an example of that may be how was the speed of light calculated in the 1600s? I think that's the one I did last time. Or I do physics, so I like physics-oriented problems. Well, an example of one I might do is something like talking about the Hubble telescope. And when you get a telescopic image of galaxies light years away, thousands, millions of light years away, to get a really good resolution image with the telescope on Earth, you have a problem of a little bit of light scattering when it comes through the atmosphere. So that problem was solved by just putting a telescope above the atmosphere so that the light doesn't have to be scattered through the air. So that's we got the Hubble telescope orbiting the Earth.
So why, in your opinion, why does Patrick Henry have this club, and in what way does it provide benefit to the college?
Well, one of the reasons is that I think problem-solving skills are really important for marketing yourself. That's one thing employers look for. It's on the top of all the lists I see is problem-solving skills. Among teamwork is up there too. But my fiance asked me one day, a few months ago. She said, what's the most important thing that you think you're teaching your students? And I said, well, probably problem-solving and critical thinking. And I was like, I wish there was, more time to just, talk about, work on those skills. And I realized I could, do a meeting outside of class, for people who are interested in that.
Okay, sounds good. I've also heard a lot of buzz about a critical thinking competition with prizes. Is that going to happen, or are these just rumors?
I am optimistic that it will happen. We've talked about it. A couple of the members are interested in doing something hands-on, so they want to do a competition where they have to build something, and there's parameters to judge success based on the performance of whatever they build. So one of the suggestions that got thrown out at the last meeting was a carbon dioxide powered car. So just make a little model car and see how far it'll go, or see how fast they can get it to go, or something like that. And we hopefully will come up with a good prize for that. At the last meeting, there was a $10 gift card awarded. So Nancy Phillips is helping me with this club, and she showed everybody a game. She brought in iPads and had everybody play this flow game where you have to connect different dots of the same color, but you can't get in between the lines connecting the dots of the other color. So You can look it up. It's for.
Wow,
Get 'em on
that'll
the iPad.
stimulate your mind.
And yeah, some of the kids got to like level 73 in a matter of 10 minutes. So there's we got some smart kids out there.
Wow. So if a student were interested in joining the club, how would they go about getting involved?
You can just send me an email. I'm at markhuntress@patrickhenry.edu, or there's flyers up. You can check the information if you're walking around West Hall. There's flyers around, or just show up at West Hall 205 on Tuesdays at noon, first Tuesday of the month.
Okay, sounds good. And do you have any other additional tips for the average student that apply to critical thinking?
Well, one thing I pointed out was that we make false assumptions sometimes. So we make these assumptions we don't even realize that we're making. There's the classic riddle about a boy. He gets in a car crash with his dad. They take the boy to the hospital, and the doctor there says, "I can't operate on this boy. This is my son." And the assumption we make is that the doctor is a man, but the doctor is his mom. So there's that. Also, find patterns. That's a good one. I like to tell a story in my chemistry class about a physician in Austria, Ignaz Semmelweis. This was in the 1800s, and it was at a time when women were coming in for childbirth, and a great percentage of them were leaving with puerperal fever. And it was a great problem. Women didn't want to come into the hospitals because they were so afraid of getting this fever. And he noticed that the women who were getting the fever had been treated by doctors who had just been working on cadavers. And so he noticed this pattern, and he decided to try to test to see if there was really like some connection between the doctors who at that time were not washing their hands after working on the cadavers and then going to treat the patients. So he initiated a hand washing regime, which was new and kind of crazy at the time, but it definitely, we know now that those are germs that were being transferred on doctors' hands. He called them cadaverous particles because they didn't know much at that time.
Wow, that's interesting. Well, I think that about wraps it up. But everyone, thank you for joining us. My name is Emily Aaron. I'm here with Dr. Mark Huntress. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you around town.